Hey guys, it's Danny Elliott. Thank you for watching me today. Thank you for joining me. So, am I the asshole for tipping 83 cents? That's the question this guy asked. And I thought this was a good one today because have you noticed that customer service just sucks basically everywhere now? But this guy says, I went out to dinner with my wife last night. When the bill came, I gave the waitress my card. She came back shortly after, looking very upset. She slammed the card down on the dining room table and said, "Declined!" I thought her tone and brevity was very rude. I took out a different card from my wallet and handed it to her. While I was putting the first card back in my wallet, she didn't even move. I looked at her and I said, "Are you okay?" She said, "If I go back and try to run this card again, are you still going to be sitting here when I get back?" In other words, are you trying to scam the restaurant and are you going to dine and dash on me? I asked her if she thought her tone was appropriate for speaking to customers. She said, "You're only a customer if you pay." At that point, I asked to speak to her manager. She left with my card. My wife said maybe the waitress had seen scammers before and she was anxious. I said being rude and being cautious are two different things. The waitress came back with my card and the slip to fill out. She said, "This one worked. Sorry." I took the booklet. Our bill was $91.17. I wrote in 83 cents as the tip. She said, "You're really not going to tip me?" I said, "No, you were rude to me." She said, "Well, I have to tip out the bartender and the busboy too. I just paid money to serve you." I said, "Well, in the future, you shouldn't be so rude." My wife thinks this was a misunderstanding and I was an asshole. So was he the asshole? Well, you can leave a comment below if you want to, but the answer is no. The answer is that anybody in the hospitality business, if you don't want to be nice to people, you don't go work in hospitality. First of all, the only thing you have to do in customer service is just smile and be nice. Now, what could she have done? What could this girl have done instead? What have I done a million times, right? Because I used to be in the hotel and restaurant business. You know how many times a credit card gets declined? It happens like several times per shift, not just per day. Happens all the time. All you have to say is, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but for some reason this card's giving me a problem. For whatever reason, it's coming back declined. Do you have another card?" That's literally all she had to say. But to come back to the table and slam down somebody's credit card and just yell "declined." He put an exclamation point after it, so I'm assuming, she yelled at him. That's unacceptable behavior, Also, he said, "Hey, I think I'd like to talk to the manager. I'm not satisfied with this experience, and I think I should speak to the manager." And she didn't even say anything to the manager. She never even reported it to the manager. She never said, "Hey, a guest would like to speak to a manager." So basically, she knew she was wrong. But instead of just following directions and going to get a manager, what did she do? She just took the other credit card that was approved, ran the card, and came back to the table and just tossed down the tray and said, "That one worked." If you're a server at a restaurant, what are you trying to do? You're trying to make as much money as possible. You're trying to get as many tips as you can get, right? Do you think you're going to get more tips or less tips if you're rude to your guests? I mean, is this that hard to understand? And it's the same thing with like a store. Like if you work at any store, any shop, right? If you're really nice to people, they're going to like coming there. They're going to tell their friends to come there. They're going to come there more often. They're going to be more inclined when they see your shop if it's got several locations, to stop at your shop over another shop, right? But if you're a jerk, if you're rude, nobody's going to come to your shop. Or they're going to find reasons to go to somebody else's. I don't ask for much, but you're going to get less than that today in customer service. But if you want to really improve your business, it's not hard to fix the customer service. All you got to do is smile and be nice. Why is it so hard? See, maybe this is a thing, like watching TikToks, like with her head staring down onto the counter, like while I'm in front of her. It's just weird, guys. Like, anytime I was in a guest-facing role, like, and I had a guest right in front of me, I would never, like, go for my phone and start watching TikToks. I'm sorry. The other thing is, like, if this was a male waiter and a female guest, do you think people would really be calling it a misunderstanding? I don't think so. I think it would be called rude, which is what it was. And good for him, you know. I've never tipped anybody like less than 10%. 10% was usually a message for me. But, you know, now if you go, like, you get a coffee at Dunkin' and they want you to add 18%. For what? Because you poured a coffee? I get a coffee black. That's literally what I order. Unless I'm getting an iced. Then I'll get, like, just a little bit of cream. But no sugar, no nothing. So basically all they got to do is put ice in a cup, put coffee in a cup, and, like, just, like, you know, pass the cream over the top. That's it. You know? Wave the cup in the general direction of a cow. That's all they got to do. You know? No problem. So, I'm sorry, I'm not going to tip you for that. Like, you're working a coffee counter. I'm not sitting in a cafe, you know? I'm not having you make me a cappuccino or a latte. I'm literally just getting a coffee poured into a cup. You don't get a tip for that. But everybody wants a tip, even when the service is just terrible. And I'm getting kind of sick of it. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about it. But I'm tired of the bad service. And a lot of people are saying this everywhere. A lot of people are saying they're sick and tired of restaurants now. They're sick and tired of just hospitality staff kind of mailing it in, you know, not working too hard, not really trying that hard, and then expecting the world. And I don't blame the guests, you know. I think these guests are right. These guests deserve to be seen. These guests deserve quality service. And, you know, if you guys don't want to give it to them, if you guys want to be servers at a restaurant but not actually serve your guests, then you're going to get guys like this. You're going to get people that are going to leave $1 tip for you on a $100 bill, you know? There were people in the comments section all saying, yeah, you know, there was this one time, whatever, my Amex got declined, which is like, oh my God, that's never supposed to happen if you have the Amex. If you have the black card, that's like, you should call your ambassador on the 800 number and, you know, get some kind of compensation for that, because that's just never supposed to happen to an Amex member. They think they're so hot. But yeah, he was saying, you know, the girl came back and she said, you know, something like, yeah, this has been happening all day, you know. And he just whipped out another card, got approved, and he gave her a 50% tip on like a $2,000 bill or something. So, you know, that's a good story. That's how it ought to be. But, like, why do you want to take the risk of getting stiffed, right? Why won't you just take good care of another human being? Is it that much? That's kind of why I liked working in hospitality myself. I like being with people. Being with people is fun, you know? Engaging with people, it's fun. I like to banter with people. I like to joke around a little bit. Like the tire shop girl, you know, like I said, you could not make this girl smile for like $1 million. Like, you could have just opened up a suitcase with $1 million in there and she wouldn't have even said anything. She just would have just, put her head down again and go on to the next TikTok reel. But I don't know what's going on out here, but it's definitely an American thing, because I keep hearing that people are going overseas and the service is just warm and gracious and genuine, and people smile and people like each other. And in the United States, people don't really like each other too much these days, and it's getting more and more difficult to, just do basic things like get a coffee or get a tire changed, or just go out to a nice dinner and have someone actually treat you like a human being. I don't know, but that's the way it is. Yeah, thanks. I want to get past the truck too. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you today. A little hospitality business video for you. I saw that, and this is my channel. I can make videos about whatever the hell I want to make videos about, right? Same as you. You got a channel, you make videos about whatever. We don't need to stay on brand. And real estate's boring right now. Anyways, guys, there's a video right there. There's a video right there. Click on it, stay on the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the bell, and come back. And I'll see you next time. I'm Danny Elliott.